I'm gonna rant and share my whole lawn care story of 7+ years of mowing and all the ups and downs I've been through. And I hope it helps your journey so you can see what I did right and wrong and do better than me and make way more money and buy me dinner, maybe take me out. All right, so where does it all begin? When I was 16, my mom and dad used to make me mow my own yard at our own house, and I hated it. And my parents also coincidentally have a landscaping and tree trimming business, which is how I learned to do the beginning phases of all this stuff that I do now. So I can't not share that. They helped me. They helped me just set up quotes and stuff, like how to give a bid, but they didn't know anything about mowing or lawn care. They just did trees and landscaping. And then also growing up, people said, are you ever going to take over your parents' tree company and stuff? Are you going to take over their landscaping operation? And when you're asking a 16-year-old if they want to take over their parents' business, and especially an only child like me who was also spoiled because growing up, my parents would just give me whatever I asked for because they wanted to make me happy. And I mean, I don't think I'm a dickhead. I just wanted a PlayStation. I wanted skateboard ramps. They bought me a dirt bike. I didn't know what a dirt bike was. I didn't like going inside. I didn't like watching movies. I haven't seen Lion King. I haven't seen Finding Nemo. I haven't seen like all these little cartoon movies. I know what they're about, but it's like all this shit I just don't know. I was just outside a lot, just like I'm outside right now, which is funny. I've just always been outside. I skateboarded. I didn't play sports. But that's a little background on myself as a kid. People would ask me if I was going to take over my parents' business, and I was like, hell no, I don't want to work outside and be sweaty. That shit's crazy. I want to work inside an office. I want to make a good salary, work on the computer. That's what I always thought growing up. And then it's funny, as I got older and I graduated college, I was like, wow, that shit I don't want to do. I'd rather be outside. And it's just like a big circle endlessly that you keep going on as you learn. And whenever you think you have everything figured out, you actually realize you have nothing figured out, and you're overly confident by thinking you have everything figured out, because the only thing consistent in life that's guaranteed is that everything is going to change, which is ironic. Okay, so I didn't like mowing yards. My parents would try to get me to mow yards for their customers, and even if they were paying me like $50, $60, $70 back in, I don't even know, 2016, which is probably double with inflation. Not double, but I didn't want the money. I was like, fuck this. I'm destroyed right now. My body's all sweaty. I wasn't used to the heat like I was. I mean, I was, but mentally I wasn't. Physically, I've always been ready. I mean, I have Filipino genes. I can take the sun. I like being outside. I didn't pick that. It just happened. If I had white ass skin, I'd probably not be doing this. I don't know, but you get what you get. So I didn't like mowing yards. My parents tried to put me on game at 16 on the weekends to go mow yards for their customers, and I would do it, and I would still hate it. And that was pretty much the beginning of my long hair journey. In the beginning, my next jobs after that was, my first job ever, actually, at 17, I think it was freaking Hollister at the mall. How crazy is that? I freaking worked at Hollister, but it wasn't the model dude who sits in the front. I would be in the back folding all the clothes and being there till midnight, fixing all the displays and shit, getting paid $7.25. And then I remember when I was young, there'd be like those surfer looking dudes who'd come in the front and be shirtless during openings and shit. And then those are the models that people thought were the coolest people, and I'd be over there in the back folding clothes, all Filipino and like skinny and shit in the back. No one's talking to me. All the girls are talking to the model guys, and I'd just be like, fuck, like life's crazy, this sucks. And that's just where I was in the beginning. If any of y'all can relate to just having a shitty ass job, I guess. I mean, shitty is relative. A job is a good, I guess, kind of, but you know what I'm saying. So that was my first job, and then after that, that shit was terrible. They never gave you a raise, $7.25 for a year. I left it. I went to go work at a freaking hair salon. My buddy who does MMA and jiu-jitsu, and he's a kickboxing trainer, which is ironic. I don't know how he was friends with somebody who worked at this hair salon at the mall. It was a high-end hair salon called Visible Changes if you live in Texas. They had like $70 women haircuts, $50 men haircuts. I just did front desk. There was a bunch of girls, a bunch of gay dudes too. It was a fun job though, but I was like, why the hell am I working here with girls and gay dudes? I was there for like a year. It was cool. Everybody liked me. That's the first time I realized that people liked me. They liked my personality, and I was good at talking to people, even though I didn't really have experience or anything. I was just like funny and awkward and weird, and people liked it. At Hollister, they wanted the surfer guys, the model guys, the blonde hair, blue eyes dudes. But at this freaking job, I started realizing I like talking to people too, which is kind of interesting. So I worked there for a couple years. I just did front desk. I'd freaking do the invoices and stuff. Spider hit my arm. And then that job was eventually lame, and then I left that. And then I got a job. I would go pick up Vietnamese food from this restaurant by my parents' house. I would go there all the time. My parents would send me there to go pick up vermicelli bowls. And then the worker was this Vietnamese dude named Paul. He's just a small business owner, a little tiny store. And he'd be like, Zach, you should work here for me. He's Vietnamese. He'd be like, Zach, you should come here, work here for me. You make good money, I'll pay you cash. And then I'm 17, I'm thinking, man, okay, well, I have a $725 Hollister job, that sucks. I have like an $850 front desk job, retail, hair salon, whatever, that sucks. So then he kept telling me to work here, and I was like, I'm good. I wouldn't even entertain it. I was like, well, I'm not gonna work here. But my job at the Visible Changes, the hair salon, was getting more lame. I wanted to do better, make more money. And he was like, come on, you could make good money. You could work a good tip. You could have a good shift and make $100 cash. And then I was thinking, man, that's cool. So eventually I was like, fuck it. All right, I'll go try one day. And I did a weekend. And just like the previous job, people like, they liked me. I think also because I'm Asian, which is it's like reverse racism, because I got my two friends hired. They're both half Hispanic, half white. And then they fired both of them. I mean, I don't want to say I was a better server than them, but I think I was trying harder. But it's just real life. People look at you and they judge you on your skin for better or for worse. And because I was Asian, I could work at an Asian restaurant, and all my other friends had a hard time. And all the other non-Asians that worked there, they had a hard time too. And I'm not even fucking Vietnamese. It's just random. I'm just being honest. So I was now at this serving job, and then on some good days I could make like 15, 20 an hour, but on most days I'd make 10, 15 an hour. And then some days it'd be terribly slow working at a restaurant, like 2 to 4 o'clock for a little mom and pop on the corner. No one's gonna be walking in. And on some weekends I'd have a party at 10 and they give me 20, 30 bucks. And it's like, damn, I'm making hella money, and I can kind of control it now. If I'm having a shitty day and I'm tired, I don't want to talk, I won't do so good. But if I can kind of be bubbly and just take care of myself and serve them and make them laugh and just give a little effort and make them have a good experience, they'll come back and they'll like want you to be their server. And then I was kind of getting used to having regulars now, looking back, as opposed to like long hair, you have regulars and stuff, right? People come and try and see you. So I'm working at this job, but eventually again, this job is just like, meh, like it's just like I'm cleaning noodles off of tables at like 11 p.m. when I want to be at home. I'm sweeping and mopping the bathroom and stuff, like the rookie, like the grunt. Some days were good, but some days were bad, and no matter what, it's a fucking restaurant job. And I was like, what am I doing? How can I do better than this? So looking back, I had my computer at the job, at the serving job, because I'd be studying for school too. I was in college getting my bachelor's degree at the same time, and I just study, which is, looking back, is just crazy to just be studying in between a lunch, like your slow time at work, which is just like man shit for a kid, but that's real life, I guess. It's not even man shit, it's just like, I don't want to say it's a waste of time. College is a waste of time, but depends on you. So I'm studying at school, and then, I'm studying my stuff at the job. And then I'm thinking kind of more like, oh, okay, well, I used to mow. It's still there in the back of my head. I can't unlearn what I did. Like, I was thinking, maybe I could just make an ad. I have my parents' little janky tools. I had like a little bent shaft trimmer, a little old Toro mower, a little BG50 blower, and I had my parents' work truck. They said I could use it if I wanted to try, because they wanted me to mow, but they realized they couldn't force me. Like, you can't force anybody to do anything. And I guess they backed off. And then I posted a Craigslist ad while I was at work, and I think it just said like, lawn care $25 plus, I can mow, trim, edge, blow your yard, I do a great job. I didn't have any pictures of my own work because it was my first ad, so I literally went on Google to like page 20 and tried to find a Texas yard that looked like the yards in my area. Like, that's a tip for you, ethical or not. It's just, I don't even know if I don't know if you could even say business is ethical, because it's capitalism, it's extracting money. You could say you have a business for a charity, for a good cause, or you could just have a charity straight up. But I've just been thinking while I was filming this, like, can business even be ethical if they're saying we're so green, we give back so much? It's like, nah, like, your priority is yourself. It's capitalism. I don't know. So back to the story. I post this Craigslist ad. I just say 25 plus. I don't even know what I'm doing. I just posted some pictures from Google. And then I got a call from a lady who lived 3 minutes away from my parents' house. And then she said, can you do my yard? And I said, sure. She said, can you come take a look, give me a quote? So I go, and it was just a yard maybe as tall as this little side stuff right here, just a tiny little cookie cutter. And I look at it, I go over there and I text her the quote, I tell her 45. And then there was a bunch of dog toys because they have pit bulls and stuff. And then she said, how much to pick up all the dog toys before you mow it, because I know they're there. And I was like, oh, I was just gonna pick it up anyways. Like, that was an example of me just like underpricing something, like you guys might do in the beginning. And it's okay, you learn by underpricing to stop underpricing. Until you underprice a bunch of times, you'll never know how to not do it. So it's good to underprice so you could get the hell out of there and start not overpricing, but kind of overpricing and pricing correctly. So she said how much to remove all the dog toys, because it's like little furry fur balls and shit. And I told her, I don't know, $20. And she said, okay, so $65 to mow and pick up dog toys. The dog toy picking up took a minute. And then I mowed it for maybe like 45 minutes because it's not super fast. It's the beginning. I got small tools. But she gave me $65 and it took me like a little more than an hour, maybe like an hour, 15 minutes. And then I was like, damn. I was like, I just made my whole shift on average like $65 for a 5-hour shift or a 4-hour shift at this restaurant. I pretty much made it in like an hour was my math. I think that's kind of wrong. But when I'd work at the Vietnamese restaurant, at the end of everything on a regular day, I might make $50-$60 in like 4 or 5 hours. So it's close to like 10, maybe 15 an hour. But I just made 65 in like 65 minutes. So I was like, that was the light bulb moment. And I didn't, like, when people ask, when should I quit my job? When do I know I can go full time? It's like, I don't think you think about it. I think whenever you think about shit, like if you're going to talk to a girl, if you're trying to spit game, if you're trying to come up with something, if you think, you just end up going in a circle and psyching yourself out. I just posted an ad, I did the job, and then the light bulb moment went off. I didn't think about shit, I just did it. And then it happened, and I was like, oh. So ever since I did that 65 job, like 7-8 years ago, I realized at that moment, okay, I'm going to keep getting customers and I'm going to get out this serving job. So I just posted on Craigslist. I passed out business cards. I ordered magnets. I put them on my truck. I'd wear the magnets on my truck when I go to the bank, to the grocery store, when I do quotes, when I go to my friends, when I drive around. I'd pass out cards in neighborhoods. I'd drive to them and I'd go pass them out. I posted yard signs on corners in streets. I'm sorry, it's probably glaring. I posted yard signs on the corners of 4-way intersections in my neighborhood. I posted on Facebook. I posted on Nextdoor. A lot of y'all talk about how do you get customers. It's like, dude, I can't tell you a new way to market. You know all the same shit that I did, the same ways, Google, Craigslist, Facebook it. But it's just, if you do it, you'll get customers. If you don't, and you just question and think, like I said, if you just think, you're not going to get nothing done. Try a bunch of shit, see what works, see what doesn't, and then just do what works. Like example, I'll tell you what didn't work for me a lot, because I just didn't do it, but it helped others. A lot of people love the Nextdoor app. It's like a little community Facebook group, but it's an app called Nextdoor. People post what's for sale in their neighborhood. If they see someone sketchy, they post about it. They want to give away something, or if they want to share a contact of like a good business. So Nextdoor was something that people use a lot. I never did it. I'm still doing fine, I think. People do direct door mailers where they send out thousands of postcards to these neighborhoods and these zip codes. I never did that, but people do that. I think I'm fine, right? There's so many ways you could go about it when it comes to customers, but I just did what I knew about, and then it worked, and I just kept doing it until it worked. So now I have the light bulb moment. I know that I can mow. So when I got to around 20-25 customers, I gave my 2 weeks, or I just told the Vietnamese restaurant that I was quitting my 2 weeks. I think it was a 2 weeks. I don't think I left them high and dry. I don't think that's good to do. Unless they're dicks, then fuck it. But I told them I'm gonna have to put my 2 weeks in. I'm gonna go on my own. And at first, like, the guy was all like mad. He was like, "Grah," because imagine, it's a different owner, by the way, too. And then crazy, like, if you want to talk about, if you're so worried about customers and stuff, like, you know how customers could just drop you in a heartbeat and not tell you why, like, you're mowing customers. But when we want to drop customers, we're all like, how do I let go of a customer that's an asshole to me and he doesn't pay me on time and he calls me every month only? But look at this. The Vietnamese owner, the guy named Paul, who talked like this, one day I went to work and it was a new family, a new Vietnamese family, and I was like, what the fuck? He didn't tell me anything, that he sold it in the newspaper to another family because he wanted to just franchise it, I guess, or let it be run privately by another family, and he went to go open a new store. And this business owner didn't even tell me. Paul, you fucking crazy, but I love you still. So just look at that. Like, people's main priority is themselves. Not saying that everybody will just like run away on you, but it happens, right? So don't feel bad because it could happen the same way to you. Just keep it clean. And if you know you're gonna drop a customer, just like tell them. Or if you know that you're gonna stick with them, just tell them. Like, if it's gonna rain and you can't mow, just tell them. Don't like let people wait around, and like, you don't like being waited on, right? So don't make other people wait up on you. Okay, so now I have the light bulb moment. I'm going to start going full-time, and I'm gonna quit this job when I get 20-30 customers. I got there within like a month or two, and then I left. So now I'm mowing. I'm in college. I'm mowing 20-30 yards, and then really from this point forward, for the next 2, 3, 4 years, I just scaled up. I did better and better and better and better. I think my first year part-time, like with no experience, I did 15,000 gross, if I can recall correctly. My second year, I don't know if it was full-time or not, but I made 30. And then after that, I just kept going up and up and up and up and up. Every single year got better. I got more efficient. I got better tools. I made a little bit more. I remember going to the bars and clubs with my buddies when I was 25, before I had my wife and my kid. And I had like 5,000 in my bank. And then like a year before that, I had like almost nothing. And the money was coming in so fast. And I had no bills. I had no debt. I had no nothing. And I felt like I could afford anything. It was really crazy. I rented a house by myself. I got an SUV and a work truck. I don't know why I felt like I needed both, but I did. And it was just like, all I can say is like, I just was working a lot and making a lot of money, and that's pretty much it. There wasn't anything more. I just was trying to get better, growing customers, got to 50 customers for the first time. This is all like the year 2017, 2018, 2019. And then I'm mowing, and then I believe COVID happens around, let's just skip to 2020 or whatever. So COVID happens, but right before that, coincidentally, I went to the Philippines because I finally, like I was telling you guys, I finally had money. It was winter. The first winter is always tough, but the second winter after that, I had all the money, all the customers, all the experience, and all the confidence. I told my mom, damn, you're from the Philippines. You ain't been there in 30 years. I've never even been out the country. Can we please go? I got money. I got time. It's January. There's no grass to mow. Can we go, Mom? And then I somehow talked her into doing it. And then after the flight, which is funny, it was like 30 hours, like 3 connecting. She said I'll never fly there again because she's like 60 and it's old. She's older and it's a lot on her body. But I was able to go to the Philippines right before COVID. And then when I was there, I was just being crazy. I didn't know what to expect. I was just there. I got on Tinder. I was just trying to meet girls. I'm just being a guy. This is like 2019. This is all 2020. Before the passport bro shit was even a thing. I became one. I didn't even know what that word meant. But I didn't go there to have sex. I went there to go experience the world, hang out with my mom, take her to see her family because she hasn't been to the Philippines in 30 years. We live in Texas. It's far from the Philippines. It's like, what time is it? It's 8:22 here. It's 9:30 at night there. 8:22 in the morning here. So it's a 12-hour time difference plus 1 hour. And then we get there. I get on Tinder. I'm party boying. And then I meet my wife. And then I'm like, oh, shit, I love you. And then she loved me. And then now I saw her for 2 weeks at the end of my trip. We were there for a month. I met her on the second week. Had to fly back. Now I'm in a long distance relationship and I'm like, oh shit. And then I realized, I didn't know this was a thing. Filipinos have really weak passports, some of the weakest passports in the world. They can't even come to America unless they have a tourist visa. And a tourist visa is incredibly hard to get because the country knows that the Filipino will likely not come back because it's like a third world country versus America where you can come from anything and do something with yourself. So she can never come here. So now I'm in a long distance relationship. I have this business and stuff. And then also I post my first YouTube video at the same time. This is like all April 2020. So I just went to the Philippines, met my future wife. I'm all sad because we're 13-hour time zone away from each other. I don't get to see her. I don't know when I'll see her. And I started a YouTube channel. I posted my first 3-tool, $500 workday setup video. It has like 300,000 views. My first video on this channel, that if you look back. So I posted that. My channel starts blowing up out of nowhere. I didn't even expect to be a YouTuber or anything. I didn't want to do this. I just was kind of high and I had just drinking an energy drink and I was just kind of feeling good. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to show my setup. And it went viral. And then my channel started growing. And then right when my channel started growing, granted, this is because of COVID. If you remember during COVID, everybody's YouTube channel boosted up because everybody had to stay home. So I don't take credit. I think it was just good timing. But my channel blew up. And then now people want videos. But I'm with my wife and I'm like, fuck, you can't come here. I can't go to the Philippines. So we choose Costa Rica because it's the closest country to America that she can enter visa free. It's 4 hours from Dallas. So I spent all my life savings and all my money to move her there so we could be closer. Then I continued spending all my savings and money flying back and forth for the next 2 years until the green card process. The first green card that we sent out, application, was a fiance visa. It got approved and then COVID happened. So then it got dismissed and then we had to do another visa, except we got married to try to make it more official and more stronger. So we did the marriage visa and that one took 2 years. But while she was in Costa Rica, I had to fly back and forth. I gave away all my customers the first time to go there. I stayed there for a month because I didn't know what I was going to do. And then I had to rebuild my customers again. And then just in and out for the next 2 years, I ran my lawn care business part-time. It was so damn stressful. I could not work a full schedule because I had to leave like every 4 to 6 weeks for like 2 weeks at a time because it wouldn't be worth it for any less. And I had to go there and I was giving her supplies that she couldn't get from the Philippines that I had to bring from America, trying to take care of her. I'm paying for her life. I'm paying for my life here in Texas. I was paying for 2 lives. It's so crazy. This has all happened so fast, but it's what I wanted. So long story short, you guys might have seen my videos when I was in Costa Rica. They're still on my channel. But as of July of last year, 2023, the green card finally processed and it got approved. And coincidentally, I got her pregnant too. So when she flew here in July of last year, she was 6 months pregnant, almost not even able to fly. The baby would have had to been born in Costa Rica, so close. I'm happy that we got her here. She was so big, her stomach was about to pop when we flew her. It's just a 4-hour flight, but we got first class business seats for the first time for us. It was cool. It was just like an extra $100. It wasn't crazy. And then she came here last year. So last year I came, and then I've been here, and then now I've been here for the past year, and now my baby's 1 year old. My wife's here. I'm happy. They're sleeping. I'm with my dogs at the park. And I filmed this video talking about my story. So in summary, I mean, I kind of went on a tangent, but I really wanted to share with you guys in the beginning of starting a lawn care business. I would drive 45 minutes on a Sunday to go do a $50 job. Like, so 50-minute one way, do the job for an hour, 50-minute back, just to make 50-60 bucks, because I didn't know any better. I didn't have anything else better to do. I needed money. I would do the biggest, ugliest yards that I would never touch nowadays, even if I triple price it. I just don't, like, don't you think there's a time when, like, the money doesn't even matter? It's like I value my time and the energy. Like, some of these yards take energy from me, and some of these energies, I get energy from them, right? So in the beginning, I didn't have a choice. I didn't complain. I just worked, and it sucked. But when it's sucking, you're making the confidence grow, you're making your money grow, and then as you slowly get better and better, you could start to chip away at the customers you don't like. You could start to slowly increase your prices because you have more leverage, because you're not starting from zero. If you have 30 customers and you want to increase your price by $5-10, like your top line is going to be higher than if you're just starting at zero trying to increase prices and get customers from the beginning, right? You have money coming in, it becomes easier to make decisions. It's easier to buy a freaking mower when you got 50 customers versus when you got 5, right? So if you just keep mowing, you have to keep getting better, because there's no other way that if you continue doing it. Even if you're sucking in the beginning and you don't know, like when I started my business, I didn't know how to do half the stuff I do. You kind of learn as you go. It's scary, but you just got to be honest with the customer and tell them, hey, I can fix that for you. I can do this for you. And realize if they're not happy, just be like, I'll go back and touch it up for you until you're happy. And if you're really not happy, you don't got to fucking pay. It's that simple. Like, by that, having that guarantee, I think you can alleviate a lot of pressure and learn how to do services. Like the sod job I posted yesterday. I don't do sod, but the customer really wanted it. He asked me for it. I tried to top dress it at first, but it didn't bring the grass back to life. So I said, all right, we'll do the sod then. Plan B. I told him that. So that's an example too. You can tell your customers, like, if they request something, like, I'll do this, what I recommend. If it doesn't work, we'll do the plan B. And then until it works, I'll be happy to continue helping you. And if at the end of it, you're not happy, you don't got to pay. Like, how could you had to be stupid to say no to that offer. So whether it's lawns, like landscaping, anything, I don't know. The guarantee is universal and it helps a lot. And if you're really a man of your word, if you're a baller, then you shouldn't have anything to worry about if your work is solid. But each year that you're in business, it gets easier, it gets better. You get to have more fun, you make more money, and all that it requires is you to just stick with it. Who cares about your setup? You can mow it. I can mow a yard with any fucking setup. I can mow a yard with a janky setup, and it might take me a little bit longer, so could you. Or you could have a badass setup. You could have a minivan, you could be walking your tools, you could have a truck, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, when you go to bed, I'm just ranting now. I hope that helps. That was my life story. If you have any questions, let me know. I gotta go finish my walk. Peace.